A very good evening and a good night to everybody who is joining here today. My name is Karthik. I'm from the Bay Area, and together, hopefully, we will enjoy a beautiful meditation session this evening. So, before we jump into the Footsoak and the meditation session, I wanted to, give a little context about me and how my seeking started and what interesting aspects have I uncovered that might be interesting for you also. So I was born in India, uh, southern part of India. I was born in a city called Chennai, so which is known for its deep cultural and traditional roots. The cultural and traditional roots means that there is so much of art, so much of religion, um, so much of very interesting things. But at the same time, when I was slowly becoming a teenager, one thing that I realized was there was a lot of things which didn't make sense to me. They were pretty much, in my opinion, people were just doing it without the understanding the underlying meaning of it. So I became a little bit of a rebellious teenager and started questioning, like, hey, why do you have to give a coconut to the god? Why not give it to hungry people? Why do you want to give milk and waste it? Instead, why not, won't the god be happier, etc., etc.? So from all these rebellious questions that I kept asking, one theme seemed to be recurring for me, which was my quest for a deeper truth. So when I got a chance, exactly during my 12th grade, which is considered very important examination in India, so I got my self-realization. So when I got my self-realization, one of the first things that I noticed was how calm I felt, how relaxed I felt. Um, so, case in point, I was a pretty nervous child before that, and I was not great at exams or whatever. So, I used to score pretty poorly, but not because of lack of intellect, but because of that constant sense of nervousness. But the moment I got my self realization, one of the nicest things I observed is how calm and how relaxed the thoughts in my brain became. Um, and once that happened, the next steps were pretty much, self-evident. So I wrote my exams. I got it literally the day before my final exams, wrote the exams, and my attention was like that of like a clear like lake, absolutely serene. And like imagine I was writing the most important exam of my life. I was doing it with absolute calmness. So that taught me something deeper. So now, with the exams over, I realized that, hey, this is something extraordinary, that there is something deeper than what I thought life meant. On the meaning seemed to be much more deeper than what appeared on the surface. So, with regard to all my rebellious questions, one of the things that came to my mind is we humans deal with a lot of imagination and stories, right? So many of our cultural identities are richly steeped in stories that we have heard. And a man's quest for meaning, man meaning mankind's quest for meaning, is this inner journey to find out what's actually true, what's meaningful in all this, or are we just doing these things just because others have done it before us? Are we earning money because others have earned money before us? Is this the pattern of life? So, to answer that question, I realized that there should be a mechanism to know the truth. One thing that science has taught is, hey, you can do experiments and learn the truth, have an hypothesis. And this was, in fact, one of my favorite scientists, Galileo. He kind of, this is how he thought, this is how he kind of discovered that the earth was round and not flat. Not just based on hearsay, not based on what he thought, not based on what he believed or what anybody said, but instead he thought, okay, how can I look at it and determine the truth from it? So while that method is great, I was wondering if there is like some kind of a shortcut, some kind of a cheat code in the search for truth. And luckily, that's the same cheat code I had experienced before, that sense of calmness. Um, One of my favorite poems was actually written by an Indian poet called Kabir. And what he mentions in that poem is that the wise person, the jnani, which means that somebody is a knower, he is able to listen to the celestial sounds, which are nothing more than a whisper. Um, so I was like, oh, how can I hear this? If then, my problems are solved. I can know the truth. I can identify which practices are just there for the sake of culture, tradition, and which are meaningful to me. And the answer was very interestingly the same. The silence that I felt that helped me write my exam well, that's the same silence that can help connect you to a deeper reality. And now my questions were more focused on inwards rather than finding the meaning of life outside. Who am I was the question that I was pondering on. And this inner silence kind of brought in that understanding that there is something deeper within. Um, so I started kind of marking stuff in my own head. What I know for sure is the truth, and what I believe, they are just, stuff that I believe in. So belief versus truth. And one thing I know with absolute certainty, that there is a very deep personality within all of us. Um, and this personality has been called in the past by poets, scholars as the spirit, Atma, many different names. But what it represents is us, if we can see ourselves without all kinds of extra stuff that we tend to put on top of ourselves. And this state, like if you have seen Kung Fu Panda, this is one of my favorite. Master Oogway explains, when the lake is calm, you actually see much deeper within, and that has been my experience. So once you meditate, that brain waves kind of slow down, they calm down, and you're able to see yourself as you are, and you can see the flaws, but you don't like, you don't hate yourself for that, or kind of condemn yourself. You see them, you accept them, and you work on them. uh, and in that you become tremendously powerful. The one who has the power over oneself, or understanding about oneself, is indeed very, very, very lucky. So in that journey, I have felt that meditation is one of, like, is is the most important aspect of that journey. So I just want to end like this with one specific experience. So one time when I was, again, this was when I was pretty young, I was listening to music, right? So I know that certain kinds of music have different types of impacts on our subtle system. Um, so I listen to different kind of musicians, Indian, Western, and all that. And one time I listened to Mozart, which especially the magic flute, and I realized that my entire the energy was so active, it was so joyful. And then I realized that is the joy that that musician must have felt when he composed. And then I've started to kind of understand that we are all connected. The joy, the emotions of all of us in terms of joy are also connected. The only thing is we are not aware of that connection sometimes. And the best way to connect is to meditate together. So if we ever get a chance to meditate together, I love that, because it's one of the nicest things that a person can do to connect with another person and understand the other person and come together, even though we may have a lot of differences individually. Um, like, for example, I may have a different background, cultural, historical, you may have a different background, but when we meditate, we touch that small intersection which is common to both of us. And from there, it kind of unravels and say, like, you understand where the other person is coming from. And you see that everybody, whether they're aware of it or not, they want to reach that same state of calmness, same state of tranquility, of peace and joy. In fact, we think money can give that, so we search for money, but it's not the external rewards that actually help us, it's the internal rewards. And that internal reward is only possible to really enjoy uh, if you ever get a chance to meditate. So hopefully today we'll get a chance together to touch that maybe a little bit and enjoy that all together. So cool. Um, Having said that, let's jump into foot soaking. So before we start putting our leg, let's collectively take bandhan. If you're aware of how to do it, now you can vibrate your water. If you have got your foot soak bowl, excuse me, foot soak bowl with you, vibrate the water. If you know how to say the mantra Samudra Devata Sakshat, you can do that. Om Tvamev Sakshat Shri Samudra Devata Sakshat Shri Yadi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devye Namo Namaha. If you're not aware, it's totally fine. Don't worry about it. So now let's put both our feet in water. Hopefully you have everything ready, salt. Gently keep both your palms nice and open. Now let's start by building a rapport with this inner energy. Let's state our goals to this inner energy, because sometimes we do things which are not meaningful. And in this form of meditation, we need to always only do things which are meaningful. So let's try that and say, Mother Kundalini, our goal today is to get to a state, even if it's for a short time, where we touch the state called thoughtless awareness, where we experience the beneficial effects of meditation, and it can inspire us to meditate every day. Both hands towards the water. This inner energy is extremely simple and innocent, just like Mother Nature. So it doesn't know our complicated thinking. So let's ask in a very simple, direct way, Mother Kundalini. I stated our goal, collective goal earlier, Mother. We want to see how deep the rabbit hole is. How deep is the state of meditation? If possible, can you please remove all the energy which is there within my body that's not conducive to the state of meditation? Any physical health issues, any mental, emotional issues, any trauma that we are still carrying around that's gonna not let us enjoy the state of silence where we accept ourselves. While making these emotional and very from the heart desires, it also helps if you just regulate your breathing so it comes in tune with your emotional side. So just relax your breathing a little slower, and then from the heart desire Mother Kundalini. It would be really awesome if I have a glimpse of what this is. Now place the left hand on your lap and right hand continues to point towards the water or Mother Earth. The left side is like the side that's more deeper. It is not uh, possible for us to fully understand that. It's an emotional side of us. It's not it's not understood through analysis. So here we make a request to this inner energy, Mother Kundalini. If I have problems that are affecting my left side, which is dragging me today from being the best version of myself, can you please remove them? Another nice thing that you can do with this inner energy is give your problems to that inner energy to solve instead of mentally solving it. So you can say, Mother Kundalini, could you please regulate the emotional side of my being? Or if you're more comfortable, you can say, Mother Kundalini, please help me accept and love myself. Now let's balance the right side, right hand in the lap, and left hand making a right angle with your elbow. The right side is the side of action. It's also the side of planning, physical exertion, mental exertion. So here we say, Mother Kundalini, could you please remove all the stress accumulated in my body due to overactivity, overthinking, overanalyzing, complications that I've put on myself. You can also pray, Mother Kundalini, please help regulate a mental side of my being. Since this side is also closely related to what in Sanskrit is called as the prana, which is the vital breath, let's take a few relaxing deep breaths while continuing to pray to this inner energy to relax the right side. Beautiful. Now both the hands on the lap. Now let's have our attention on the central channel, which is right in the middle of our body, starting from the base of our spine all the way to the top of the head. Here we say, Mother Kundalini, could you please open the central channel? This is the channel of balance, of regulation, also the channel of the parasympathetic nervous system, which relaxes all the nerves in your body. So let's request Mother Kundalini, please help open out the central nervous system, sorry, the central channel within our body. So if you know, give vibrations around your center heart by rotating with your fingertips. Here we say, Mother Kundalini, thanks to your deep and nourishing love, I feel secure. I feel fearless. Now offer that, whatever which is not that quality, just into the water. Since I'm noticing some pressure in the right side of our throat, so let's start with that. Let's rotate in a clockwise fashion with our fingertips. Mother Kundalini, thanks to you, I have a very sweet countenance and very sweet words for everybody around me. Now offer that into the water. Now, if you're like me wearing glasses, you can take it off and place the right hand on the forehead. Just squeeze a little. Mother Kundalini, I forgive everybody. I also forgive myself. I accept my own flaws and the flaws of everybody around me, but I also know that we are capable of being much better. Right hand back on the lap. Now we can use the help of this inner energy to help deepen this cleansing by just moving our palm upwards from the base of our spine to the top of the head. And while doing it, pray that this inner energy help us deepen our meditation. There is no other goal except to deepen our meditation. Mother Kundalini, please help me cross all these obstacles I've put on myself. And help me touch that point where I at least get a glimpse of the end state, the goal state. No need to count, just do a few times in a very relaxed way. Now let's one more time just ask this inner energy, Mother Kundalini, can you please tell me if there is anything else that we need to work on so that we are prepared for our meditation today? Mostly it's looking great, except I'm feeling a little pressure on the right uh, small finger. So that correlates with the right heart. So let's just give that vibration around the right heart. Let's just say, just direct that positive energy that's flowing from our fingertips into that chakra and say, Mother Kundalini, please remove any problems that's affecting our collective right heart. Very nice. Now offer it to the water. Now let's just give a minute while things are just nicely clearing it up. Very beautiful. One last thing I do feel is a little bit on my right thumb. So let's take our right hand to the lower abdomen region and give a bandhan. This is called a bandhan, but what we are doing is just directing this energy towards the lower part of our abdomen, like that. And each time we do that, we say, Mother Kundalini, could you please remove any negative energy that's troubling our collective right Swadhisthana. The second chakra, which is what's indicated, is called as Swadhisthana. So let's just pray to this inner energy to help us overcome that problem. Beautiful. Things are looking great. Let's wash our feet and get ready for meditation. Once we wash our feet, we'll all also take bandhan collectively together. So first let's wash our feet. You can set aside your tub if you so wish and get ready for meditation. Let's one more time take a bandhan. Let's raise this inner energy using our fingertips. If you're not aware of this, totally fine. You can just skip it. Very beautiful. Now is our opportunity to enjoy what we have been requesting. Let's start by putting our right hand on the heart, on the left heart, and take the affirmation, Mother Kundalini, I am the pure spirit. I'm something more than this body, something more than this mind, something more than my intellect, more than my habits, more than my past. I'm something even more than what I think I am. I'm in fact the pure spirit. Both hands on the lap. Now let's put our right hand on the lower abdomen on the left. Here we request this inner energy. Mother Kundalini, give me the pure knowledge. This is not the knowledge of the outside, how to make the $1 million, but the knowledge of the inside about who we truly are and what are our true needs and desires. Both hands back on the lap. Looks like our sixth center, Agnya, needs a little bit of help. So let's once again place the right hand on our forehead, squeeze it a little bit. Here we request Mother Kundalini. I would love to be forgiving, accepting of my own self and of others, even those who harm me. Could you please help me reach that state where I see beyond my limited understanding? Now let's place the right hand on the very crown of the head and rotate the scalp. Here we request Mother Kundalini, connect me with the universal energy. Connect me with the whisperings of the universe that we all desire to know. Connect me to the truth. You can slowly bring the right hand back on the lap, but try to just gently put your attention on top of the head. This has to be without any forcing or pressure or pushing. Just gently let it rest on top of your head. Now we can make a request to this inner energy, Mother Kundalini. Could you please take us collectively to the state which is beyond words, beyond mental conceptions, beyond thoughts, the state in Sanskrit which is called as nirvichara. If you're aware, we can collectively take the mantra Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirvichara Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha. If you at all feel that there is still some lingering thoughts, you can just leave that thought to this inner energy to deal with instead of you fighting with it. Mother Kundalini, I have no idea how to deal with this thought. I just leave it to you. You deal with it. Mother Kundalini, I leave my known, unknown, conscious, unconscious, subconscious, all kinds of problems to you. I'm not mentally trying to solve anything. Since things are so beautiful, let's see if we can scratch the surface of another deeper state of meditation, which is called as Nirvikalpa, which means the state of no doubts or questions. Let's also see if you know. Take the mantra. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirvikalpa Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha. That's very beautiful. There's a lot of joy in our hearts. Let's raise the energy again. And then let's cover ourselves with this protective vibrations all around us. Last but not least, with both hands folded, let's offer our sincere thanks to this inner energy, Mother Kundalini. I really thank you from the bottom of my heart for your patience, for tolerating all my mistakes. and also helping me evolve into a better human being. With that note of gratitude, we'll play some gentle music for those of you who want to stick around and meditate for some more time. Thank you all. It has been a wonderful privilege to meditate with all of you.